Hi, well, it's about midday on Sunday, the 4th of March 2018. I had a lot of interesting comments as a result of that video yesterday about what happens if a baby's born off planet. And I've had one or two really interesting discussions with people as well. And it's really got me thinking. And a few people have raised some interesting observations. So I want to extend this a little bit. Now, this is really way off planet, literally. So it's a kind of Sunday sermon with a bit of a rant thrown in, but it's also proper futurism, I hope. So bear with me if this runs over, okay? What happens if a child's born off planet? Whether they're born in a different star system, which isn't going to happen within the next 4 or 5 generations. But what happens if they're born on a different planet like the Moon or Mars? Or what happens if they're born in a space hotel or on a space station? As someone very succinctly raised a question to me. Firstly, if they're conceived and gestated off planet, that's going to play havoc with gravity. Thus their bodies are going to be atrophied and their muscle systems are not going to be like other humans. Secondly, if they're born, say for example on Mars or further away from the Earth, then the amount of sunlight they're going to get is going to be much less. So the pineal gland isn't going to work. Vitamin D levels are going to go right down. The body of any child that's born off planet, at least conceived, gestated and then born off planet, is going to be fundamentally different to that of any human born on planet Earth. Now, this then raises a number of questions. Firstly, if a child is born and gestated off planet, they're not going to be able to come back to planet Earth without considerable mechanical support because their bodies won't be able to deal with the gravity. So that means they're kind of destined to spend most of their life, if not all of their life, off planet in space or elsewhere. Therefore, over a period of many years, their body will deteriorate. The gravity of planet Earth is what makes our bodies the way they are. And if we look at our bodies purely as a kind of soul carrier or brain carrier, a mechanical system designed to carry consciousness, to carry the soul, and that the body changes when we're born off planet or in a space station or something like that, then that creates a very different type of human being. A human being where the mechanical systems of the body will not function as well as yours or mine. So that brings into question, will anyone being born off planet without the similar body to you or me then be able to reproduce? Probably not using the same methods that we do today. And, over 2 or 3 generations, no, they're not going to be able to. So where does that leave humanity if we're going to be born off planet Earth? Now, a few of you know I've been really into cyberpunk since the mid-80s. William Gibson, along with Terence McKenna, they're 2 of my, I don't do heroes, but if I did, these would be my heroes because they're the sages of the future. So I am influenced by their writings, but the idea of downloading consciousness has always been, it's been a dream, a fantasy, but the closer we get, the idea of the body just being a mechanical system that carries the brain or carries the soul and the consciousness around whilst we're down here on planet Earth, and the body not being needed so much if a child is born in space, well then what happens? Does the brain just become a brain and keep consciousness in the brain? No, I don't think so, because the brain will change. The chemistry of the brain will change also, along with the molecular and atomic structure. So what will happen? Soul, consciousness, call it as you will. The idea of downloading it into some type of construct, robot, AI, some type of mechanical carrier. I've seen a number of scenarios in the future where consciousness becomes the main form of life, and we no longer need the mechanical constructs, whether it be robot, AI, or body. The thing is, it's only the body that dies. Consciousness doesn't die. So if consciousness can exist outside the body, which it would need to do if we were to be born in space and continue living off planet Earth, then we start talking about immortality. Now this is way, way ahead, but actually possibly not that far ahead. 2 or 3 generations, providing we get there. I somehow suspect we won't get to that point. That some type of, as I said yesterday, transcendence would occur, which will negate the need for that level of consciousness development. But these are fascinating ideas and fascinating concepts. It goes way beyond the remit of astrology, because the astrology won't work once you're off planet. I've realised this now. Geocentric astrology is, by its very name, geocentric, earth-centred. And any child born off planet would have to have a heliocentric chart, or a lunar-centric, or a Mars-centric, or a space station-centric chart. So everything would be different, but then the body would change. Fascinating ideas, fascinating ideas. So I'll be covering more on this in times to come, especially as we're getting into that phase now where there's some really big developments coming in the next couple of months that are going to shock the world. So yeah, I'll be looking at a number of different scenarios in the short-term future. But have a think about this. Love to hear your thoughts. Catch you later, world. Bye.